don't know what it is about this Ned Rig. Oh gosh, you guys. I'm telling you, when you can't catch fish on anything else and you know that stinking school is sitting there, you grab a Ned Rig. It's the craziest thing, or what do they call it, the Midwest Finesse rig? It's like a super finesse-y way to catch fish. I mean, it's not a big bass, but dude, I wasn't catching anything. So I grabbed it. That's the first cast I made with it. Awesome. Little bass, but he ate it. I'm gonna tell you about what I know about a Ned Rig because there's a lot I don't know. So let's jump on it. All right, so I guess the Ned Rig was developed in the Midwest. I think that's why they call it the Midwest Finesse Rig. It was developed in the Midwest, and it was basically, they wanted to come up with a way to catch 100 fish in a day, no matter what the size was. It was these old guys that really didn't care what the size of the fish was. So let me get this thing situated right. That bass buggered it up pretty bad. So what ZMan has done is they've partnered with the guys that came up with this deal, and they have designed a full jig head and everything else, because those guys were taking the Cinco style bait that ZMan makes, and they were cutting it in half. So that's basically half of a Cinco, or half of whatever they call it, whatever ZMan calls their Cinco. But ZMan's now making them just like that, and they're called the TRD, or as I call the turd. And then the jig head is a mushroom head. Little light mushroom head. I got it on 6-pound test fluorocarbon leader, medium action rod, real light hook. And the way you rig it is straight down the center, just like that. This is not a weedless presentation, although they do have a weedless jig head now. I don't have one. And it looks just like this, and that's all it is. I'll sit down in a minute and I'll show you guys the different baits that they sell for them, and I'm sure you can use any other soft plastic you want to. These guys have found out that the ZMan stuff lasts so long that you're not burning through. If you're catching 100 fish a day, you're not burning through bags and bags and bags of soft plastics. So anyway, the way you fish is you throw it out and you let it sink to the bottom. I like the lightest I can get away with, the lightest little jig head. I think this is a 1/32 ounce or something like that. It's one of the lightest ones they make. Let it sink to the bottom. I'm only fishing in really, really shallow water, probably 1.5 feet, 2 feet deep. And the way I like to do it is just to lift my rod and hold it high, and what it does is I keep that line tight, so I'm gonna lift it up and I don't drop my rod, I just keep it tight. So I just brought that bait up off the bottom and it's gliding back down in a semicircle down to the bottom. And I just let it sit on the bottom for a second. I do the same thing, and I work that way all the way back to the boat. That's the way I've gotten most of my bites. Studying up on this rig, there's a lot of different ways to fish it. One way it reminds me of the old Charlie Brewer slider method, one of the first actual methods that I learned in bass fishing. And this is kind of what you do when they're deeper, when they're 5, 10, 15 feet deep. You throw it out and you let it sink all the way to the bottom, and then you start to reel. Let me show you my rod, my reel when I'm doing this. You start to reel very, very slowly. And because it's deep, because of the drag of your line, because of everything else, you're just swimming that thing right along the bottom. It's kind of a do-nothing bait, and the fish hit it. Great for wintertime stuff. Great for when they're just in a funk, post frontal stuff. Now, another way to fish it that is very, very effective, especially when they're active, when you've got a big school that's active and competing for food. You cast it out, let it sink to the bottom, and then you slowly reel it in, but as you're reeling it in, you shake it. I mean, you give your rod just a tiny, tiny little shake as you're reeling it in. And I'm not reeling, look at how fast I'm reeling. I'm not reeling very fast, just enough to keep it off the bottom, and I'm shaking it all the way in. And like I said, when they're really active, which they aren't really right now, they will hammer this, especially if they're competing for food and competing for small bait. But like I said, my favorite way to do it is to just hop, lift up my rod, and then just let it glide down on a semicircle. You can hop it, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. The coolest thing, the thing I've noticed, at least the last couple of days when I'm fishing it, when I say last couple of days, last time I fished was 5 days ago, is that you let it sit on the bottom a little bit longer than you think you ought to, you know, 5, 6, 7 seconds, and then do your hop and let it glide to the bottom. It is a finesse presentation. You're using very, very light line. Now the main line that I'm using, you guys are gonna ask, it is a sinking braid. It's called G-Soul. You find it in Japan, it's not cheap. I get it at my local tackle shop. You can use any kind of light braid. You can use straight fluorocarbon. I've found that the lighter you can get away with, the better. This is 8-pound test. I would like to have 6 and 4 to fish this, just because it works great when the fish are in a funk and you don't want them to see that line at all. So that's the Ned Rig. Let's sit down, let me show you some of the baits that ZMan sells for it, and kind of give you an idea of what kind of baits you look for when you're fishing it. All right, so the baits that I have, and I think that ZMan just came out with a new bait or a couple of new baits. I don't know, I haven't been really paying much attention. But this one right here, this one's called the Hula Sticks. It's got a little, it's kind of stuck together right there, but it's got a little 4 little tentacles that look kind of like a skirt. You can see right there. It's called the Hula Stick. Any kind of little small little stick bait. I mean, here's a really cool one. This is the Finesse shads. Come in several different colors. Looks like a little shad bait. That'd be an awesome drop shot bait too. They come in shad colors. That's just the green pumpkin one. And then of course you got the TRD, the Finesse TRD as they call it. Show you a fresh one because that one was pretty beat up. Look at that. Just was like a half of a Cinco. That's all it looks like. Great little bait. It's just a finesse presentation. It's just a different look that the bass may not have seen, and it does. It catches fish like just now. I mean, I've been dragging a jig over that spot forever, and I can catch them on top water and they come up schooling, but I want to catch them when they're not schooling. And so the last 2 days I've been fishing, I remembered the Ned Rig, and I'm like, oh, let's just grab it and throw it out. And literally on the first few casts, I catch one, and they haven't been big fish, but they've been fish, and it really has saved the day. So pretty cool little bait. Go check them out. You can get them at Tackle Warehouse. I'll put the link down in the description, like I'm going to start doing for everything I talk about. And get out there on the water, go out and catch some fish. Be sure to introduce somebody to fishing, introduce them to my channel, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, just get out there and fish and go have some fun catching fish and enjoying the sport that we have here. So anyway, I messed up that ending, but who cares? Later, take it easy.